What's up, YouTube family? Um, so yeah, as y'all can see, yesterday at the end of the video about our dear friend, our brother, mentor Kevin Samuels that passed. Tell I was kind of struggling to hold it together at the end, man. Just talking about it on camera actually, it just brought a whole different vibe, kind of just. But we men, men do have feelings sometimes, but it's all about controlling those feelings and controlling our emotions too. That's part of being an alpha man. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into this, y'all. Nofap and semen retention. First off, what is Nofap? For those that don't know, it's gonna sound funny, but I'm gonna just be straightforward, like I do on every video. Nofap is when a man makes a conscious decision, when he intentionally decides to not jack off. That's what Nofap is. I'm not sure exactly where the whole term came from or how it started, but I do know that it started from the internet. Young boys who have learned these things about semen retention. I'm not gonna get into the whole history. I know it was ancient Chinese. Once again, they sort of popularized it. I know they wasn't the first to come up with it, but they were the first one to really write about it and talk about it. First of all, I'm gonna break down the difference. Nofap and semen retention is two different things. Nofap is basically not looking at porn, not watching porn, not jacking off. Semen retention is not busting a nut. Now, even though they both go together, it's actually good to do both. But you have some guys like there's what you call like super monk mode. You got guys who can have sex with a woman and not bust a nut. It's just called edging. Like right before you about to bust, right when you ready to release, you stop. It's not easy to do. I have done it before, maybe only a couple times, and that's when I was at my best, man. Like I feel like I was most healthiest, most in shape, everything. But yeah, Nofap, man. Why is it important? See, what a lot of young men don't realize, especially in this culture, we live in a very hypersexual, pornographic type of culture. There are more incels. You got more young men who are not getting no pussy these days than ever before. Back in my day, I mean, if you was good looking and you wasn't no punk, you wasn't just a complete lame, you can get some pussy. Nowadays, the standards, man, I really do feel bad for a lot of these young men because they're getting older. Women's standards of what they're attracted to and everything else is just out of fucking control. But just to keep it to the basics, when a young man watches porn and jacks off too much, when he busts so many nuts, it makes him weak. It makes you weak, makes you emotional, it makes you not masculine. This is why athletes, they teach their people to not have sex. They tell them to not have sex, but it's really because they want them to retain their semen. Your sperm is literally your life force. This is where testosterone comes from. It comes from your testicles. That's why they call it testosterone. Testosterone is a very important hormone that basically is what makes you a man. Women have estrogen, men have testosterone because we have testicles. Your testicles produce testosterone. All that protein, all the nutrients, all the testosterone, all the good hormones and nutrients that make you a man, that makes you a strong masculine man, it comes out in your sperm. This is why, that's how powerful. That's why it makes babies. When it goes into a woman's egg and it fertilizes a woman's egg and she has babies. Think about that, man. You got juice in your balls that can fertilize a woman's egg and create new life. So every time you jack off and bust a nut, you're basically saying fuck life. You're basically just giving up your life, man. You're giving up all your life force. All your nutrients, all your protein, all your testosterone goes out. Now, I'm not saying don't ever bust a nut. That's not what I'm saying. The only time you ever bust a nut is when you're having sex. That's the only time a man should ever release. Unless he has a wet dream, which that's not something that we can control. That's your body releasing excess semen. A lot of people who do Nofap, they'll notice they'll have a wet dream at least once or twice a year. Those are for people that's real hardcore, just not busting nuts at all. A lot of these martial artists, a lot of boxers. Mike Tyson wrote a book about it. Well, no, he didn't write a book about it, but he mentioned it in one of his books, where Mike Tyson said all that like the longer he went without busting a nut, the hard them was the ones where he usually knocked niggas out in the first round. Cause it's true. It you know, all your muscle, all your strength, all that shit comes from not releasing. So that's what semen retention. Semen retention is just not ejaculating, which is one of the most difficult things for a man to do for a long period of time, but it's one of the most honorable, and it makes you great. It helps you build muscle, man. If you're out lifting weights, don't be out here busting nuts. Because just, man, like releasing your semen makes you weak, man. It drains your testosterone. Women can sense it too. When you get around a female, like they can tell, oh, this dude, he ain't got no manly hormones. He ain't got no testosterone. He's all of his life energy is out. Even if she don't know, like she don't know nothing about you jacking off or watching porn. But men who hold their semen in longer are actually more attractive. Believe it or not, it actually makes a man more attractive. Women, like, they'll get around a man like they don't even know why they pussy getting wet around this guy. But it's something about him, something about that masculine alpha type of energy that turns women on. That goes with semen retention and Nofap. Now, let me tell you, so we already know the benefits of semen retention. It makes you stronger. It helps boost testosterone, just everything, man. So yeah, y'all, I recommend look into it. Y'all study about semen retention, and I encourage every young man and every old man, everybody really, to practice it. Now, Nofap is similar, but here's a little difference. Nofap is actually a step further than just not busting a nut. Nofap is basically not looking at porn, not looking at girls' titties and asses on camera, and not watching pornographic images. Now you may ask, well, what's wrong with that? You know, we men, shit. You know what I'm saying? I like to look at fat booties, you know, on Instagram. And let me tell y'all a true story. And sadly to say, like I said, you know, like this is all part of my growth. So I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to talk about like none of my flaws in my past. But this happened more than once, y'all. But I'm gonna try to make this quick. Shit. But this one particular time, bad chick, man. Like, she was like literally like one of the baddest chicks you've ever seen, man. If I show you a picture of her right now, you wouldn't even believe me. You'd be like, bro, ain't no way you had her at your house, butt ass naked. Yes, I had this chick. This was a while back. This is like back when I was still staying with my mom and shit. But this was like some years ago. But even though I was still an adult, I was like 25, 26. Bad bitch, man. One of the baddest bitches, like, you know, man. And like people know who she is in the city. I ain't gonna say no names, but she was bad, man. Somehow, she ended up coming to my mom's crib while my mom was gone, and we was about to fuck. She had her panties off, legs spread, everything. She was bent over the bed. I could not get my dick hard. No matter what I did, my dick was just soft and limp. Why was my dick soft and limp? Because I was looking at too many pornographic images. We talked about dopamine, like in my last video when I talked about smoking weed. You know what I mean? Like if you smoke too much weed, it's going to take a lot to even get you high. You got to smoke a whole bunch of weed now just to feel normal, because all that dopamine, your body's so used to, you know, you built such a high tolerance to this dopamine. When you look at a picture, when you look at a naked girl, man, like if a beautiful woman walks in your room and gets naked and your dick gets hard, and you know, dopamine releases in your brain. It's telling you, yes, we're about to reproduce. We're about to make a baby. Because that's really your whole nature. The whole point of you being a man is to make babies. Now, even though that's not what we think about, that's not something that we say to ourselves, oh, man, I want to get her pregnant. No, especially in this day and age, child support, all this other shit. No, do not just be having babies with a bunch of women. But what I'm saying is that's our primal nature. That's our natural instinct. The reason why we have sex is because deep down, we want to have babies, even if we're not thinking about it. The reason you get up every morning and go to work is for the possibility that you might get some pussy and have a baby and raise a family. That's our nature. Now, even though society has went far, far away from nature, I get that, but that's really the reason why our dicks get hard. Okay, so let's go. Let's get back on track now. You see a naked woman, and you know that dopamine releases, because that's one of the most natural hits of dopamine that you can get, you know, which is through sex and sexual activity. So what's happening is all this dopamine, man. I had such a high tolerance. I was watching porn. Yeah, I was jacking off a lot then. All type of shit, man. I was, just looking at porn, watching girls twerking on YouTube and all this shit. I'm just looking at all these sexual images, and I'm always mentally stimulated by all these sexy women and this and that. That when I actually get a real bad bitch, in my presence, my dick didn't even get hard because my tolerance was so high. It's like nothing turned me on. I mean, I was turned on. I wanted to do it, but I couldn't. Because the signals in my brain that's telling my dick to get hard because we're excited, we have a beautiful woman in our presence. That signal was lost. It was disconnected because my brain only noticed. For one, when you're looking at porn on TV, you're looking at smaller images of women. Looking on your phone, women ain't that size. You're looking at like a little tiny woman on the little camera screen, or the little phone screen. So when you got this regular size woman, it's like, like you don't notice it. You think like, damn, she a bad bitch. Why, why is my dick not getting hard? And that also comes with low testosterone, man. If you bust a nut all the time, you're tricking your body into thinking that you just got a woman pregnant. So right there, so you lose your drive, you lose your ambition. The reason why so many people are fucking depressed and having anxiety is because too much sexual stimulation. The only sexual gratification you should have is when you're having sex with your partner, preferably with a man with a woman. Now, like I said, I understand there's people with different lifestyles. Most of my audience are, heterosexual young men who are trying to become more alpha men. But like I said, we're not gonna discriminate. We know like there's a lot of gay guys out there. So this ain't like this ain't to exclude nobody. Like I don't engage in homosexual activity because I'm not a homosexual. But the same rules do apply even if a man, like even if you're a gay man and you have a male partner, which like I don't live that lifestyle, but hey, to each his own. If that's what you do, it's the same thing, man. If both of y'all are constantly watching porn, jacking off, it's gonna be the same thing. Y'all not gonna be able to have any type of real fulfilling sexual encounters with each other. So, but I'm just putting that out there. Same thing with women. A lot of women playing with themselves, man, using them roses and bzzz, and she wonder why is she getting dicked down by all these different big dick guys and she still can't come or have an orgasm. It's not the guys. Usually, sometimes a lot of men don't know what they're doing, which I'm gonna make videos about that. How to make a woman orgasm using your dick. That's gonna be a motherfucking video for y'all. But basically, people they overstimulate themselves, man. Women are just doing too much with their vagina, so nothing can ever please them. Same thing with you men, man. All this jacking off, busting too many nuts, like watching porn all the time. So not only are you getting all that dopamine stimulation, just kind of like ruining your happiness because you're building too much of a tolerance to seeing naked women and all this shit. Then on top of that, you're releasing all of your vital energy, man. All your sperm, man. Your semen is what makes you a man. That's what gives you life force. That's how I'm able to do 100 fucking push-ups. Why? Because I'm not busting nuts. The only time I ever ejaculate is when I'm having sex. So if I don't get sex for a long time, guess what? I'm not busting a nut for a long time. I'm exercising, working, I'm doing things to make my life better because like if a man is having a problem finding a sexual partner, it's because he's got work to do. Either you're too fat or you're too skinny, you know what I'm saying? Just whatever the fuck it is, maybe like, you don't groom yourself up enough. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're not working enough. You don't got no money, or you're working too much. You're not getting enough sleep. All of these things is what makes men unattractive. Being unproductive makes you unattractive, man. Women are attracted to men who are out doing things, out here trying to get things. Back in the day, like back in the days, man, a man would go out and hunt. The man that went out and hunt, the man with the big muscles, because even though they didn't have weights at a certain time, he had to pick up heavy rocks and he was building things, doing things, fixing things. This is where his muscular growth come from, that masculinity. The guy that was sitting in the hut jacking off every day, he was weak, frail, he didn't have no energy, and, ultimately he didn't have no women. So like I'm saying, no, sex is not the only part of life. It's not. But sex is one of the main. Sex is really the giver of life. It's the connection between masculine and feminine energy, that polar opposite that I talked about. This is where our life. This is where the connection of all life interaction is with. So, come on, man. You're jacking off, man. You're killing your future kids. Every little sperm cell is a living organism. So, you want to get rid of depression. You want to get rid of anxiety. You want to become more